the Fisher Sports Show. Hi, everybody. Fisher Foods has something new in sports, a game called Sports Stumpers. Now, here's the score. Tom Manning is on the mound for Fisher Foods. He'll pitch 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 a few fast questions at our battery of sportsmen. The boys get 3 chances at each question. Each miss is a strike. 3 strikes and they go down swinging. We will pay $10 in cash for every question used on the program, and if your question stops the batters, you will receive $25 cash from Fisher's. Got it? All right, long about the 7th inning, we'll give you all the rules of the game. We have 2 regulars in the batting lineup each week and 2 famous sport guests. Chris Speaker, Baseball Hall of Fame, and Paul Brown, coach of the Cleveland Professional Football Team, are the regulars, and our 2 guests tonight, Lou Boudreau, present playing manager of the Cleveland Indians, and Ed Bang, sports editor of the Cleveland News. Now, I'll toss a brand new ball to Tom Manning, and he can get things underway before we're called by darkness. Catch, Tommy.
Okay, Joe Mulvihill, and good evening, sport fans. But first of all, let's get a little better acquainted with our experts tonight. In the first chair to my left.
Chris Speaker, how are you, fans?
And number 2 spot.
Lou Boudreau.
Thank you, Lou. And number 3.
Ed Bang.
Good to see you, Ed. And number 4.
Paul Brown.
All set now. Batter up. Let's watch for the fade-outs. You know, these questions can be on any subject connected with sports. Now, we'll take it easy. Here's one right across the plate, just to sort of get things rolling. All right, boys, here it comes. Mr. George Fenley of Akron wants to know what 3 champion athletes retired while still holding titles. All right, Lou Boudreau?
Well, Tom, Bobby Jones for one in golf, and Gene Tunney. And
That's correct.
I think of another one in fighting. I think that'd be Benny Leonard.
Absolutely correct. That was Bobby Jones, Tunney, and Leonard. Along those same lines, Mrs. John Trimble, 89th Street in Cleveland, wants you to name 5 heavyweight champions. All 5. Now, first of all, I see your hand up, Spoke.
Okay, Tom, there's Mr. John L. Sullivan.
Mr. John L. Sullivan. Good old Johnny Sullivan is
Mr.
correct.
John
All right,
L.
Ed Bang.
Well, there's Jack Dempsey and Maxie
That's true.
Bayer,
3.
Jimmy Braddock,
4.
Primo Carnera.
That's 5. You got another one, Spoke?
Well, don't overlook Gene Tunney.
Oh, the greatest boxer of all time, I imagine. Does that coincide with your opinion, Spoke?
I think he must have been, but we're still thinking about Jack Dempsey as one of the best.
Well, he was a hitter and Tunney the boxer. All right, a fast curve from out in Lakewood, Ohio. This one is from Bill Morris. It's a baseball question. Now, listen closely, men. There are 3 men on base. The batter hits a fly to left field. The ball hits the fielder on top of the head and bounds high in the air. Now, the ball never touches the ground. It is finally caught by the center fielder. What we want to know, what are the rights of the men on base? Chris Speaker.
Tom, the rights of the men on bases are that if they tag up, in other words, if they're standing on the base, then they can run at their own peril the moment the ball strikes the fielder or any part of his clothing.
In other words, as soon as the ball touches any offensive player, the right of the men on the bases are to go at their own risk. Is that it?
That's correct if they were
All right,
holding
moving
up.
on. But before we move on, Spoke, tell me, whatever happened to the guy in left field that was hit on the head with that ball?
I think he's on the streetcar going downtown.
Probably shadow boxes every time he hears the clang of the bell, eh? Thanks. Nice going. Now we'll sort of take a little breather here, folks, and umpire Joe Mulvihill with a word or two to you sports, whether you're a sport fan or not.
And the good word, Tom, well, as a matter of fact, there are 4 of them. To wit, it's fresher at Fisher's. There's a slogan that will facilitate all your shopping. Fisher Foods, the one-stop place to shop. Look for the familiar green front of your nearest Fisher market. There you'll find the very best of everything to eat. Everything. Fresh, frozen, canned, and a complete selection of your favorite brands. Meats? My friend, there's no better. Take your choice of fresh meats or those delicious cold cuts so handy and tasty. The top of the meal, of course, is bread, and we invite you to try Fisher's bread. Fresh, good, as is all their bakery. Just keep in mind these 4 words for shopping satisfaction. It's fresher at Fisher's. Now back to inning 4 of Sports Stumpers and Tom Manning.
You know, one of the big thrills I always got while broadcasting at Ohio State was looking down there from our lofty perch with Paul Brown whispering in some kid's ear. Better get ready, Paul. That means you're coming up. Better get your good eye focused, too, because these things are coming faster and harder from here on out. Are you ready? Here's a sleeper on football, Paul. It's in 3 parts. Only one chance to answer each. Here's the first one. How many players is the Big Ten allowed when they play games away from home?
Tom, I'm certain I can answer that because I had the experience of trying to pick 35 men out of a squad of 45. 35 is the exact number. As you can see, it's a little tough at times because some of the boys don't get to go after they've worked pretty hard. But there's just no choice on it. They just make the best of it. It's the nature of living. They have to learn at an early age, I guess.
Thank you for your very lengthy explanation. We appreciate that, Paul. We'll have you back sometime. We'll go into that a little bit deeper. But here's number 2, Paul. How many players are eligible to catch a forward pass?
All but the guard, tackle, and the center.
Well, now, Paul, you don't want to go into that any further because number 3 says, when is a guard allowed to catch a forward pass?
Well, I should have qualified my answer by saying that that isn't a normal lineup. If a guard happens to be in the end of the line of scrimmage, well, then he, too, is allowed to catch it. Any man in the end of the line of scrimmage can.
Well done, Paul Brown. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're going to call on Lee Gordon and the corner coaches for a little help on this next one. The boys will play just a few bars of 3 musical numbers. I want you to connect the title of the song with a sport. Come on, gang. You can read that, please, because that little red stuff. All right, Spoke, your hand is up. The title of the tune first.
I'm shooting high.
I'm shooting high, and all right, link it up with a sport.
That's hunting, or sometimes in my skeet shooting, I shoot a little high, too.
Where's a good spot to find those birds these days, Spoke?
Well, we don't kill those skeets take home, Tom, but we do shoot a lot of ducks up at the McGee Marsh, just this side of Toledo.
Hit it, Maestro, hit it. Ah, that was too easy, Maestro, too easy. Paul Brown?
That's Betty Coed. I've listened to that before.
What do you know about co-eds, Paul?
I've seen a lot of them.
Betty co-ed is right. Football is what you were going to say.
That's
All right,
now.
Maestro, number 3. A little tough for sport fans. A little tough, I think. All right, you got it, Ed Bang.
Yeah, Tom, that's Red Sails in the Sunset.
Red Sails in the Sunset. All right, the sport.
The only sport I can think of would be boating.
You ever in a canoe with a sweetheart we had? All right, Joe.
Any one of you at home or here in the studio is eligible to play Sports Stumpers. Just think up a question on sports, any sports, that you want answered. Give it along with your name and address to the man at your Fisher store. If your question is used on the program, you'll receive $10 cash. If your question stops our batters, you'll receive $25 cash, and that isn't all. Come in, Tom.
Well, friends, each week, I'll make up a sport question of my own. At the end of each program, we'll have the big home run question. Now, we have 4 contestants from the studio audience. They'll be given 1 minute to think of the answer to that question. If anyone answers it correctly, he or she gets $25. Now, if no one has the right answer, the $25 will be carried over and added to the great home run jackpot the following week.
Get your question ready and give it to your Fisher food store man right away. Now we have some more sports stops coming up, so here's Tom Manning.
All right, back to baseball. A question from Irene Fitz of Lakeshore Boulevard. Name 3 presidents of the American League. All right, Spoke, let's have it.
Well, we have to start with Byron Bancroft Johnson, who was the original president and helped to organize the American League.
Spoke, did you ever run into a jam with good old Ban?
Oh, yes, Tom. I had a lot of jams with Ban, but we finally wound up all right. Ban won the decision, and I lost the argument.
Well, the Harrods, invited Lou Boudreau out to dinner the other night after finding him $500. I understand that Boudreau ate about $450 worth of food, so he's only $50 back. All right, Johnson, number 2, Spoke.
Well, the second president of the American League was Ernest S. Bernard, who was also a great man with the Cleveland Baseball Club during my years with Cleveland.
Spoke, I think he was
later
one of the
president.
best pals you ever had, wasn't he?
He was he was the president of the Cleveland Ball Club, yes, sir.
What did you call him?
Barney was.
Barney. All right, that's
all that I
2.
know
Johnson
him by.
and Bernard.
That's right, and then you come down to the third president. The American League has only had 3, and that's William Harrods, who is now acting in that capacity and doing a very good job.
Grand guy who stays out of trouble. All right, it's boxing this time. Bob Galloway of Columbus, Ohio, wants to know who has the last word in stopping a prize fight. Ed Bang?
Yeah, Tom, either the boxing commissioner or the referee.
Boxing commissioner referee, that's fine. What's your hand up for, Mr. Speaker?
Well, of course, I think one of those fighters can stop it. a little quicker than anyone else by a good clip on the chin for a count of 10.
Well, I can go. We went better than that. Maybe you don't have to get clipped. You can run out and lay down there and going down without being hit. All right, fine. Cut it out, will you, folks? Yeah, well, here's another tricky baseballer. A question from Sam McBride of 1881 East 89th Street, Cleveland. There's a man on first base. He starts to second. The batter interferes with the catcher. What's the ruling on the play? Lou Boudreau, you better remember that one in the stadium this summer.
Well, Tom, the batter is called out by the umpire, and of course the runner returns to first base as no bases can be run on the interference play.
Absolutely correct. Well, here's a toughie. Baseball again. In 1927, Babe Ruth set a home run record. Mrs. Frank Olmsted of East Cleveland wants to know this. How many runs did Babe Ruth make, and did he make most of those runs in the short right field at Yankee Stadium or on the road? All right, Joel Cooperman speaker.
Tom, the total number was 60 home runs.
Oh, wait a minute. I mean, all the kids in school know that, but the big question is coming. On the road or at home, did he make the most?
Well, you'd naturally think that they were made mostly at home because of the short right field fence, and I'm going to give you the answer as having
Wait a minute.
made most of them at home.
Are you guessing?
Well, a little bit. I think he made them most of them at home. Look.
Give me a figure, will you?
Oh, I'd say he made, about 30 at home and 30 on the road.
30 on... Well, you're absolutely wrong, and I'm awfully sorry, Spoke. I think you'll find that our friend Babe Ruth made 32 home runs on the road, 28 at Yankee Stadium. He did make 60 home runs, like you said. But you missed the last part of the question, so one of those $25 cash prizes from Fisher Foods goes to Mrs. Frank Olmsted out at East Cleveland. Now, the first strikeout tonight. Congratulations, Mrs. Olmsted, and your check will be in the mail from Fisher's in tomorrow's mail.
Time now for the big spot on the show, Home Run Time. We have 4 contestants on the stage selected from the studio audience. Tom Manning has chosen a sports question that he'll ask these contestants. The first person to hold up his hand will get the first chance to answer. Mr. Gordon will furnish exactly 1 minute of music, and the contestants may volunteer any time they think they have the answer. We'll take them in order as they do hold up their hand. If no one gets the $25 grand stake tonight, $25 will be added to the stake next week. Now, Tom Manning with the last pitch for tonight. Tom?
All right, Joe, but first let's meet our friends who are going to try for that home run award. Folks, there's about $400 in the pot for you tonight. But first of all, may I have your name, please?
Yes, Miss Boudreau.
You're a sports fan, are you?
Yes, I am.
What's your favorite sport?
Baseball.
Thanks for dropping in. And your name, sir?
Nate Wallach.
Nate Wallach, what's your favorite sport?
Football.
Thank you very much. And number 3?
Al Collins, sir.
Nice of you to drop in. And number 4?
George Thompson.
All right, boys and girls, here's the question. What baseball player had the most bases on balls in one game? I want you to give me the date, I want you to give me the man's name, and I want you to give me the number of bases on balls he received. You have 1 minute or any part of it. Maestro, if you please. Maestro, hold it if you please. Your hand is up first. What was your name, sir?
George Thompson, Tom.
George, what's your guess?
Well, I'm going to take Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, the most bases on balls?
Yeah.
How many would you say he received?
I don't know what to guess. About 4.
I'm awfully sorry, sir, but that is absolutely wrong. Your hand was up second, sir. What was your name
Al
again?
Collins.
And what is your
say
guess?
it was Georgie Burns of the Indians.
No, George Burns holds the 2-base record, but not the bases on balls in one game. Thanks. Come up again next week. And young lady, your favorite sport was baseball.
Yes.
You like wrestling, too?
Yes.
All right, what is your guess?
Oh, I'll say Lou Gehrig.
You'll take Lou Gehrig.
Mm-hmm.
Most any gal at all would take Lou Gehrig. So what is your guess?
6, Tom.
6?
Yes.
Well, that's the correct answer, but I'm awfully sorry you have the wrong man. And number 4 contestant, your name again, sir, please?
Nate Wallach.
And what's your guess?
Well, I think it was Hank Greenberg.
I'm awfully sorry you missed, and the $25 goes into the giant jackpot for next week. The answer is Jimmy Fox. It occurred in Chicago, Illinois. 1938, he received 6 bases on balls. Again, Maestro, if you please.
That's the show. It's time to go, but we'll all be back next week at the same time. Tom Manning, Chris Speaker, and, of course, Mr. Brown. Meantime, get your questions ready and send them along to this station with your name and address. If we use your question on the show, you'll get $10 cash from Fisher Foods. If your question stops the letters, you'll also receive $25 in cash. Join us here in the studio next time. Maybe you'll be on the stage waiting for a try at that $25 home run question. Till then, remember, it's fresher at Fisher's. See you next week. Bye.